So if you were to go back, like right now, and you're looking at your younger self, starting off, like what couple pieces of advice are you giving that younger Eric?
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'll definitely keep you posted on what we do today. It'll be fun today.
Yeah, for real. Have fun. It'll be a good time.
We'll do. All right, so this morning we woke up, went to Flat Track Coffee, and now we are at Squatch Fitness and doing a little electrolytes prior. This is actually one of the coolest things, is now finally having product that I could take on the go within the Sisu brand. It lets me stay hydrated and fuel and train, and also prep for what will be Beat the Heat podcast later.
And Todd Anderson, he is such a wuss. He just backs out of every workout, right, Pete? I mean, this is like the 18th time he's done this. I'm actually surprised he came to the same city I'm in.
We were talking about that actually.
I love Todd, but this morning specifically, I think he saw the workout and then flaked.
Definitely flaked on us.
No, I haven't met you in person yet.
We haven't met.
There you go.
Eric told me you're in town. I'm like, fucking Peter, yeah!
Let's go, baby.
How's it been, man?
Good. Really good. But as soon as you sent you sent the workout, I was like, oh, great, here we go.
Go, this work.
10-minute EMOM, 5 bench, 2 15.
Nice, Pete.
Then we got a 10-minute EMOM, 12 dumbbell shoulder press, 50 pounds, 8 rounds for time, 25 push-ups, 40 air squats, 200-meter
So you
run,
guys gonna have massive foam
and then little accessory work. I know, yes. It was right up his alley.
Yeah.
So much fun working out with you. It's really nice having you in town, you know, hanging, working out with you.
That's Todd.
Todd, that's Todd.
It's so soft, Todd. It really
It's so soft of him, huh?
Is.
He's probably going to show up right when we finish this, don't you think? Unbelievable. We'll get a little 10-second clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed, 'cause there's a time coming when the devil gonna come for you.
You guys went out too hot.
So my trigger fingers, stay prepared. I've got my weapon and I got my prayers, 'cause if you don't run this town, they'll walk all over you. Run out loud, gotta run on. Keep on running till the sun goes down. Run out loud, better run on. Run all day till you can't be found.
Did you find any good mountain biking trails?
Not yet, no. Kelly and Wyatt are going to come in December.
I was hoping that Young Smoke would maybe do like a reaction video or something for us.
I got a challenge for you later too if you want to try. Mike was able to broad jump the pool. Standing still broad jump.
That's possible. That's possible.
Alright, so bunk room. Yeah, here's the bunk room. This is where Pete's sleeping every time he comes here, top bunk. Nice.
This is where you sleep in here.
Yeah, exactly, in the closet.
Yeah. You only had one before, now you got 2, right?
Yeah.
That's so fun. How many guys have you had sleeping in here at once?
No one slept on the top bunk yet. Milena and Dan have slept in, well, I don't know if Dan slept in this room or not. Milena has slept in this room.
Do you want this
we
kid
haven't
go?
had more than 2 here at any one time yet. Kelly's always slept in the queen room. He hasn't slept in here yet. Bobby, when he was here, slept in there. So I think the only time
Bobby Ryan?
No, Big Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
He
Yeah,
came.
yeah.
But yeah, this weekend this will be packed. Wyatt, Ty, Mike,
So fun.
Kelly. And this is another cool zone. I mean, this could just be like some cafe tables for coffee in the morning.
Yeah, you have so much opportunity.
Yeah, so much.
I mean, like, you don't...
I mean, this is cool. So this is 3rd level. You get the skyline views. And this is right off the bedroom to do something here, maybe some lounge chairs. So the neighbors were like stoked for anything other than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is nice.
And then they ended up with you, you know?
Yeah, and then they ended up with me. So speakers up here, power, water, gas, like
Everything
sky's
you
the
need.
limit up here.
Yeah, 100%.
And the view from like, I was thinking projector like over here and then seating here. So at night, you know, that's all lit up. It looks sick.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's quiet up here.
It is.
It's pretty quiet for being in the city.
Where does Josh live from here? Disney?
He's like 2 miles away.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe not even that.
This
Yeah,
house
he's on the
turned
east
out
side.
unreal.
His house is sick. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's so sick.
He gave me a tour.
But
like
this
before
perspective is cool, you know, like looking down at the other building. The staircases are so pretty. I love the exterior. I think it's such a beautiful
I love the concrete.
build. Me too.
So Eric's finishing up a call right now, taking like 15 minutes to build out our Eden outdoor shower. Right now this is on a VIP only basis, so like between now and March it's just going to be small batches until we do a full public launch. But I love this thing. I've been using this thing in my backyard for a long time now. And hot, cold, with 2 garden hoses at the rear back. Really simple setup, and we're going to be using this thing tonight. All right, so on the rear of this, you have a dual garden hose attachment. Left side is cold, right side's hot. If you're only gonna be doing cold, keep that open, the other side off if needed. And if you have a male adapter, or I should say a female adapter, you can put it right through. It also comes with this, so you can just simply just attach your garden hose depending on whatever the end of the hose you have.
Done nothing.
Kind of narrow. You may want to leave it there.
Look at the gear, dude. Look at that lens on there.
Next year they want to do about 15 regional events across the country. But
Just be near the water.
Yeah.
and not being paid is still nice.
I know. You look good. You look mean right now. Really? You like looking? Wanted to get like it felt the hottest.
Everywhere.
You consistent. Well, you
Yeah,
do.
I know.
I thought you did pee yourself.
I did.
Yes. Do you pee in pools?
It's my MO. Are you ready? You got the sauna hats?
Here goes nothing. So we start this baby
Yeah,
at
it's on
160, then it goes up to 230. 30 minutes.
Good luck in there, dude.
Thanks.
You got this.
So you have my sauna hat?
Probably.
It's in there.
Cool. You start your watch, Todd? I think you start your watch. Baby. Holy, that was hot. Those last few minutes.
Ooh, baby.
I almost called in a friend. You start to get a little nauseous.
Yeah. Pretty dizzy.
5 more minutes. I think I'd be thrown up.
I was about to say, if that was 35 minutes,
10 more minutes, Dad.
I'd be dead.
You had some nice.
Don't kill anyone.
No, I know. That's like my.
How bad was it compared to what you thought?
It was easier.
It was harder.
Yeah.
Harder than I thought. I thought it would be easier.
I could tell by your reaction.
Yeah. I guess I didn't stay
I will
long
say
enough.
when you get out of the cold right now, like
We'd be lightheaded.
yeah, so take your time. Cause like, probably have never done 30 minutes hard.
Yeah. Not in a long time.
Yeah, so it's different.
Yep. Yeah, I don't push myself like I used to with the sauna and the cold.
Like, yeah.
I used to-
We were just talking about this. It's like a little bit lower temp, longer duration, feel good.
Ever since I went to Finland, it completely changed my approach on it. They do way less temperature, more
Longer.
water.
Yeah.
Way more water. Like
Oh, yeah, more
a
steam.
minute.
Wow.
And I feel like it's much more enjoyable. I think it's easier on like your heart. It's just more
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
I would get, and that's how all the longevity studies are done there.
All right, so it's Tuesday morning. We're headed to Yellow Jacket Stadium in East Austin for Good Pain Run Club. bunch of really, really good runners in this club, and just a bunch of intervals today, 2-mile warm up, 2-mile cool down, with the meat and potatoes being a 4x800, and then you have supporting 400s and 200s around that. So it'll be good. This will be fun.
All right, so Austin, Texas, day 2 with Eric. Eric's house is unbelievable. We got the tour yesterday. We got some good workouts in. This morning we did the Good Pain Run Club, which was awesome. There's like 150 people or so. 3 or 4 different running groups, different paces. It was so much fun. Then we went to Desnudo for coffee, Veracruz for tacos, and then we're back here. Eric is turned into one of my best friends, I feel like 3 years ago when we met. Yeah. It all started with this idea that we had with Sisu, and it was originally a barrel sauna with a Harvia heater. And we jumped on a call with Eric, and he's like, hey, you gotta learn about this Hume heater. I think it'd be really cool if we want to partner. These are the things I'd like to see. And it evolved into this crazy thing that started with this simple call. And now we're here. It feels like every quarter we're together training, having a good time, doing sauna, talking business, talking shop. And it's cool seeing the evolution of you along the way. But I don't know how many people truly know your story, but I'd love for you to kind of speak on like how you went from, and I know that you've shared your transformation from a health journey, but like what are the other things behind the curtain that people have not seen from that evolution of not just your health, but also business and life and family? Like what does all that look like?
Yeah, so my first business was a property and casualty insurance agency that I started right out of college. My dad gave me a great opportunity to build my own book of business, and residual income. That's what I always tell young people getting into maybe a business that they don't want to do forever, is try and pick something where you're not just trading time for money. You're either building an asset and or you're building residual income. And my dad led me down that path of being able to build a book of property and casualty insurance. And for 7 years, from 21 to 28, I went door to door, knocking on campground owners' doors, marina owners' doors, and I narrowed in on these niche markets, kind of like what you've done with you sell saunas. Like I recognized that with the insurance business, that you want to be known for something, you want to specialize in something, you want to become an expert in something, and that allowed me to grow that business fairly fast. And then in my late 20s, that's when my first passion project came along. I started a software company with a business partner that was called App Fury. We were building mobile applications when the iPhone first came out back in 2009, and they were called In My Pocket. We had Soho in my pocket, Midtown in my pocket, and the premise was we wanted to be like Yelp and Foursquare. They had just launched around that same time, and we wanted to help tourists get around these trendy areas of major cities. They were a failure, but it got us into the app world early, and we ended up partnering with 5 20-year-olds who are Syracuse University students, and we built a service-based agency building mobile applications for businesses and consumers. So I did that from 2010 2014, and during that time period I also got back into running, lifting, wellness, hiring a personal trainer, and ultimately triathlon. And it went from doing a sprint distance triathlon in 2009 to doing my first half Ironman in 2011, first full Ironman in 2012, and then qualifying for Kona, the World Championships in 2013 and 2014.
So, question on that.
Yeah.
So that training process, going from what people don't know, if you don't know Eric, is that you were a drinker. Like you did not live a very healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You were golfing, you were doing it all, and then you're like, hey, I love working with the trainer. I love pushing myself, and then the pinnacle of Ironman training for you was an elite category of Ironman training. Like what type of paces were you holding at the Ironman World Championships, and what was the training leading up to that, and then how did that also apply to what you're doing in business? What did you learn through your training that you could apply?
Yeah.
I learned a lot through that time period. I'd say the biggest lesson I learned was anyone can be world class at almost anything as long as it doesn't require some genetic gift if you just are narrowly focused on it and you execute daily. Like compounding consistencies is what I learned during that time period, where I wasn't doing anything like superhuman early. You know, later on, sure. I mean, I was biking 100 miles and able to run a marathon after biking, but I got to that by just a series of executing every single day on a training plan. And I mean, early on, it was a personal training session for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And then it was 2 workouts a day of that personal training session. And then maybe a 30-minute run in the afternoon or a 45-minute bike ride in the afternoon. And then it was doing a sprint distance triathlon every Wednesday night, which was like a massive ceiling for me then. And then, you know, it was training upwards of 7 and 8 hours a day, 5 weeks out from an A race. So I didn't get there overnight. It was, you know, years and years of building to get to that point where, you know, I could do an Ironman. But my time at Kona was 9:36 or 9:37. Pacing wise, I don't know. I was always a slow swimmer, so it was probably like a hour and 10-minute swim, 5 hour, little under 5 hour bike, and then a 3 hour and 10-minute marathon would be guesstimates.
That's fast. But for those who don't know, like a 3 hour, 10-minute marathon after all that volume is very fast. I mean, you're looking at like a 7:10, 7:15 mile.
Yeah, low sevens.
Super impressive. What was your body, like how different was your body then versus the way it is now as a hybrid athlete?
Man, when I first started, I was similar to this because I was lifting a lot. So I was in the low 180s when I first started in triathlon. And then fast forward to 2014, competing at Kona, I was 163 pounds. Right now I weigh 180. So I was definitely a smaller frame. The cardio that I was doing was insane. It was 20 hours of cardio every single week. I still was doing CrossFit, but I was taking classes 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and I was kind of cherry picking the workouts. You know, if it was body weight workouts that I would crush people in, I would do it. But if it was heavy snatch or heavy squats, I wouldn't do that workout. But I mean, one of the other lessons I learned during that time period was slow and steady like wins the race with endurance. I thought to get fitter, you had to just keep going faster all the time. So when I was going to these Wednesday night sprint distance triathlons in 2010, 2011, I got to a point where I was winning them. And I was just trying to go harder every single time. And then when I would do a half Ironman, people who I would beat in those Wednesday night sprint triathlons, they would beat me in a half Ironman. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I'm so much fitter, faster. I look more fit than them. And I hired a coach, and my coach told me, he's like, they're doing zone 2 training, way more zone 2 training than you're doing. That allows them to put in more volume. And by putting in more volume, you're going to build an aerobic engine and you're going to build muscle endurance. So at the time, all of my runs were like a sub 7 pace, but I was only running 6 miles in one clip because my heart rate was 170. So he told me that I had to start doing all of my workouts under a 140 heart rate or he was going to fire me as his client. Wow. So at that time, that was like an 8:30 pace per mile at a 140 heart rate. But after doing that for 4 years, zone 2 training, under 140 heart rate, I went from that same heart rate, 140, to a 630 pace at a 131 heart rate, 130 heart rate. So, you know, I got really, really durable from all of the volume I was able to do from slowing down. And same on the bike, you know, I was doing longer bikes as opposed to 60 minutes as hard as I could possibly go. Like, I had a good anaerobic threshold, but I didn't have the aerobic system built, and I didn't have the muscle endurance. I would just like die after a bit. And it reminds me of a lot of my high-level CrossFit friends that I train with now. Like, sometimes they can hang with me for 60 minutes on a mountain bike ride, and I'm kind of blown away. But at 90 minutes, they just completely fade because they're going at a 180 heart rate. I'm going at a 130 heart rate, and I can do that for 7-8 hours. They can only do their heart rate for 60 to 90 minutes, and then they're toast.
So speaking of zone 2 training, the sauna is a great vehicle for zone 2. Like, when did you get introduced to sauna, and then like how did you do it early on, and then how, like, what's your typical sauna protocols like now as an athlete?
I got introduced to sauna pretty early. I was using it at first for heat acclimation training for Kona. So 2013 is when I probably first went in an infrared sauna. And I immediately noticed that endorphin boost I got right afterwards. It was very similar to the post-run or post-exercise high. So, you know, after doing that a few times, I'm like, damn, I feel really good afterwards. So I'm going to keep doing it, not just for the heat acclimation benefits, but I feel good doing it. I mean, that's kind of my barometer for anything now is, first and foremost, do I feel good with no consequences? And, you know, check that box. So I consistently was going in 2013. And then when I got to Colorado in 2017, I found a place called Denver Sports Recovery, and they had an infrared sauna, and they also had a hot tub and a cold plunge. And the routine there was 50 minutes in the infrared sauna at like 155, and then 3 rounds, 5 minutes in a hot tub, 5 minutes in a cold tub. The cold tub was maybe 51 to 53. 51 would be a really cold day, 53 would be a moderately cold day. So I did that religiously every night at like 7 p.m. for a couple years. And over that time period, it's the best I've ever felt. So many of my aches and pains that I racked up from the high volume of running and biking in the Ironman years, they eventually went away. And, you know, just like with doing the sauna, the high afterwards was amazing. And the stress resilience I was able to build up, the mood boost I was getting from it, the people I was meeting, like all of those things kept me like just coming back every single night. I craved it. I couldn't wait to do that every night. And then I met my buddy Bickle and some other friends, and they had traditional saunas at their homes. And then we started, you know, more extreme heat, 200 plus degrees, and, you know, 33 degree ice baths. And, you know, for a while I was kind of addicted to the massive extremes of hot and cold, you know, jumping in cold streams in Colorado with moving water in the wintertime with snow and ice around you. And, you know, that was fun as well, but I don't think that's necessary, nor is it sustainable going that extreme with it. So now my routine is 2 to 3 rounds, about 20 minutes in the crew cabin. We set it at 194 degrees, so it's pretty hot, and then about 3 minutes in 45 degree water. And I'll do a few rounds back and forth, which is, as you know, called contrast therapy. And again, I love the community aspect of it. I feel good doing it, but I enjoy doing it with others. That's why we have the crew cabin where, you know, we've squeezed upwards of, I think, 11 people in that with, you know, obviously like 5 people standing in it. But every single night, you know, there's 10 people here doing contrast therapy with me. And when people message me on social media and ask to meet up in person, I'm like, yeah, here's my number. Come on over and sauna with me. I love exposing other people to something that has benefited me so much.
It's super cool. My role with it is I feel like I need to continue to educate people on like what sauna is, the differences of infrared, steam, traditional sauna. And like there's so much good objective data that's coming out on longevity, aerobic performance, natural growth hormone responses. But there's so much to be said about sauna for the things that you can't measure. And I think like the main thing that you hit on is community. Like
I bet I've met 3,000 people from sauna culture. You know, doing this for 7 years now, a few people in the mix every single night, thousands of people I've gotten to sit in a hot sauna with.
And I think that I've had so many people reach out personally and say like, hey, I had this great business idea that came from this one random meeting that I had, this one random person over in the sauna. And it's that unplugged time, no phone, just you and another person or you and a group of guys. And you start off joking around, catching up, and then next thing you know, it starts to get hot, and like everybody's head starts to go down, and everybody starts becoming a little bit more blunt with each other. And then like that one idea, somebody spits it out, and it's like, actually, that's a great idea. And then you connect on it after, and then you're running with it. And it's so cool that the sauna brings that out.
It's a social lubricant, but with no consequences. I look at all these things now that I used to do that had consequences, and now I like doing all of these wellness practices because you feel great. Like I definitely get a state change from it. I get vulnerable. I feel like my true authentic self, but I don't have consequences like a hangover or not sleeping well afterwards.
I completely agree. So if you were to go back like right now and you're looking at your younger self starting off, like what couple pieces of advice are you giving that younger Eric to help him like stick through and understand that like there's much more to life that's going to be coming your way? Just kind of stick it out. Like what type of advice are you giving that?
I mean, now I kind of live by perfect days. I over time have figured out the people I want to be around, the environments that I thrive in, you know, where I add value, where I get value, where I can be helpful, what activities I want to be doing. And I would say, like, be mindful of, are you just going through the motions in life, or are you really living out, what you were put on this earth to do and experience? And my perfect day isn't your perfect day. It's not, Andrew's perfect day.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different perfect day. It's just figuring out what are those things that make it a perfect day. So being intentional with your time. I'm in my mid-40s now, so I get more and more intentional with my time every year. I get more thoughtful of who I want to be around, where I want to be. We moved here to Austin because I want to be in the mix with people building brands, creators, just this new era of people building businesses around personal branding. This is kind of the mecca for that in the wellness space. So I put myself here for a reason, because there's people doing it better than I am, and I want to learn from them, and I want to be in that same environment with them. And it's also nice here. There's people running, like 150 people at a track session this morning. Is wild. The biking is decent enough that I'm able to get lots of miles in on my bike. So I intentionally just kind of pick everything around me, everyone around me, to make sure that it's what I want to be doing. So I guess that's, figure out what your perfect day is and just write out lists. Like, here's what made today awesome. Here's what detracted from today being a great day. And slowly over time, eliminate this stuff and build your life around this stuff.
I love that. I've talked about this before about Eric, specifically like how difficult your lifestyle could be. If I think a lot of people, they look at a content creator and always say like, man, they have it so good. Like all they have to do is just go on camera and do their thing. To me, knowing you and also like working with other ambassadors and also doing founder-led marketing for Sisu, there's so much behind the curtains that nobody sees, and there's so much intentionality behind it because it's so easy to get distracted, and then all of a sudden your entire day's derailed. And I feel like that's something that you've done really, really good, is you're intentional with the time, you're intentional with your presence, you're intentional with what you're working on, how you're working on it, and who you're involving with it. And you've just naturally done it well, but I know it's a ton of work, and that's something that I just respect so much that you've done, because most people would not be able to have any sort of success with the amount of opportunities that you've had, that you've said yes to. A lot of people would fall flat on that. So
thanks.
It's amazing being able to see everything over the last 3 years just continue to rise for you, man. So,
thank you.
Eric Hinman, he's an absolute legend. Thank you so much for having us on here.
Appreciate you, brother.
Man.